Hi everyone, happy Thanksgiving if you're here in the US, however you choose to celebrate. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you've had a wonderful, safe holiday. Um, I want to talk about, I personally have been, I wanted to do a quick update on my heavy metals detox. So when I got back from Bali, I had sort of towards the end of it, I had a series of staph infections that seemed to be antibiotic resistant, which is called MRSA. And they were reoccurring, and then I have had a few since I got back to the States, and decided this time around that I was going to treat it naturally, and did a lot of research, talked to a lot of people, and decided to treat it with high medicinal doses of garlic, which is a natural antibiotic. So, 7 to 10 cloves of garlic, not the capsules. I did the real deal. I did the raw garlic with honey, and eventually I used Manuka honey from New Zealand internally to treat the infection, as well as topically on my skin. And so I had done the medical route and taken the antibiotics, and it was still reoccurring. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to try the natural again, because I started out on the natural and then ended up, at the clinic and taking antibiotics, having it was an abscess, having the abscess aspirated. It was very painful. It's like minor surgery. And then it just had another one reoccurring. And so much of this has been initiation and a healing crisis of really understanding the physical body, what it truly means to detox and clear purify the system of diseases, of dis-ease, of viruses, of bacteria, of heavy metal toxins, other toxins, pharmaceutical toxins, that kind of thing. And I wouldn't say I'm out of the woods yet, but what I have experienced through just using simple Manuka honey, topically and internally, all oregano oil, and high doses of medicinal level doses of garlic, is that it has killed the infection, aspirated my wound. I'm not going to post photos because it's a bit graphic. I probably will at some point do that. And through this entire process, I've received so many downloads, can feel my entire process, especially with the intensity of the natural antibiotics like the oregano oil and the Manuka honey and the garlic. The garlic, I could feel it working in my body. I'm very sensitive to energy, very sensitive, period. And I could feel the healing vibration almost of when I would consume it. I could feel it working and detoxifying and clearing, and it felt good. It was hard to stomach at times, of course, but ultimately I could feel it healing me, and that felt really good. My body really responded to it. So I want to share this with you, but it also brought up a download that I have received, and it's come up through this whole thing with the pandemic. Many people have been starting to talk about it, and now I'm seeing it, living it, an inquiry about it myself, which is the cellular theory of disease versus the germ theory of disease. So we are in the middle of a huge paradigm shift in this crisis, right? This global, on a macro level, healing crisis. And then, of course, my own personal experience has been the micro level of this healing crisis, which is creating our evolutionary paradigm shift. Yeah? Yeah. Just a minute. And so this is really huge. This is really, really huge. So as we break out of these systems and cycles of abuse, of self-abuse, we have to take personal sovereign responsibility for our own health and well-being, and detangling ourselves from these systems, taking responsibility for our own personal health and well-being. Like, I had to move through the fears of, MRSA is deadly. You don't want to fuck around with it, So I'm not a doctor, right? Like, this is what I use that worked for me. This is my own personal anecdote. And then, okay. And then, well, I just lost my train of thought. My cute little unicorn just popped in. Hold on. Wanting to watch Fraggle Rock. We're down at the beach. It's beautiful. The light's a little, oh, there you go. So, something to think about. We are in a massive shift in consciousness. The way that we approach everything is changing. And, as we take responsibility for our own sovereign health and well-being and disentangle from a corrupted healthcare system, government system, all of that, and there's no judgment about it. It's actually what's propelling us to take our power back, to step into this next evolutionary growth cycle. So you can keep the compassion and the divine neutrality about it. You don't need to fight against it. You can see how it is fueling, right? Collapse the polarity, see how it's fueling this next level of consciousness, of experience. But I probably spent less than $50, maybe $100 on other supplements. Like, I did take Golden Seal and turmeric and a bunch of other stuff, which I will share at some point in my protocol for that. And if you work with me, I'm going to be doing launching a new program. Actually, it's an older program that I've had, but it's next level, which is Eat, Paint, Love. Eat, Paint, Love Your Body. And I'm going to kick it off with private mentoring. We're going to have workshops and retreats, but this is going to be about paint as medicine and food as medicine. So putting you on a cleanse to heal protocol inspired by medical medium and all of his information, Anthony Williams' information, and really learning how to use food as medicine and medicinal qualities and uses of food and herbs. It's different, right? Like celery juice, and why, juicing celery at a certain way creates a potent medicine that helps detoxify the body, and especially the liver, and how when we have a healthy liver, it's, anti-aging, or age reversal, I should say. Everything. Everything. So, but the other thing I want to say is that true healing is messy. It's sometimes painful. It's messy. It's not neat like taking a pill, and not having to think about it. It requires discipline. It requires change. It requires self-love. It requires compassion. It requires time and patience, and being gentle with yourself and making choices to support your own body's knowing and your own body's capacity to heal and to heal itself when it's supported and loving and with generative herbs and foods and, multidimensionally. So stay tuned for more about Eat, Paint, Love. And if you are interested in being one of the first into my new program called Eat, Paint, Love, private mentoring, this will put you on, if you want to detox, if you know how you have some really unhealthy patterns with, alcohol or other substances, and you want to shift from a relationship of self-abuse into a relationship of self-love and healing and evolutionary growth, and really generative in your way of being with yourself, because the way we relate to ourselves is the way we relate to everything. It starts first at home, in our own bodies, in our own body temples. So, sending much love to you from the beach. I'll share more about my healing journey soon, but I wanted to come in and talk about this because it's really been miraculous, and I had to move through a lot of my own fears. I came from a very medical family, very fearful of a divergent path, let's say. So, creative, natural path. So, I was programmed in that way and have, evolved out of that perspective into a more holistic perspective. So I will post more about this soon, but I'm sending you so much love. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend. Feel free to write comments and messages, and private message me if you're interested in I have a couple specials and spaces available from now until the end of the year. Eat, paint, love your body. The time is now. People are going to start getting sicker and sicker as we evolve out of this paradigm that's ultimately how do I want to say it? Less than serving life. Sending much love. Bye for now.